Hi, everybody. Today, we wanted to start this episode a little bit different. We wanted to acknowledge, we are Command West, and we thought we would acknowledge what's been going on in our neck of the woods, and just kind of say a couple words about, the fires going on in LA. And we were just talking about how, nobody that lives in this area doesn't have somebody who is impacted or they themselves are impacted. So we just wanted to take a moment to speak about this just a little bit.
Yeah, look, our obviously our hearts go out to for most of us, we have very dear friends who have lost homes, and or who are struggling, damaged homes. We're doing our best to try and be supportive, but our hearts go out to them, and our cheers go out to the firefighters and the first responders that have done an amazing job in some very, very difficult circumstances.
Yeah, it's really true. It's a really heartfelt moment this time. I had to evacuate once before, and it's not easy. And just to have your bags sort of half ready to go, and I don't have the greatest feelings about how people should handle this, but just be close, stay with your family, be strong, and hopefully everybody will come out ahead, and be okay in the long run. So touched by it all, man. It's just really tough.
Okay.
I thought we might take a moment of silence before we continue the show. All right, here we go. Welcome back to Command West, a Commanders podcast where we tackle the latest Washington football team news and answer the hard-hitting statements like Jayden Daniels is the best rookie quarterback we have ever seen. We'll cover that and a lot more on tonight's episode. I'm one of your hosts, Bradley Roach.
Hey, I'm Tico Wells.
I'm Ed Passarelli. How you guys?
I'm Donnie Roach.
And I know we started on a little bit of a down note, but it was important to us, so we thought we would start with that, and then we'll bring it up. Here we go, gentlemen.
Yeah.
The Commanders have won a playoff game.
First time in 19 years. Celebrate.
I mean, I feel like embarrassed. Like I feel like it's.
I am not embarrassed. It is a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, because there's so much going on out here in LA. But you can't help but watch that game. It was it was the only good game of the weekend. Let's face it. And it was a great game right down to the wire and doinking off they can't win a game without like stopping our hearts a few times, right?
The cardiac Commanders.
Totally. Gosh.
Yeah, that got coined this weekend. I was never so I thought I was hyperventilating. I mean, Donnie and I were watching alone. As you can see, Tico's up in the mountains right now.
That's right.
Enjoying some fresh air, getting away from the fire smoke and everything, And I just looking at Donnie going, if I go down, this is 40 seconds left again. I'm like, I'm gonna go down. I'm coming. We've done this 6 times in a row.
I said every commercial break felt like it was 20 minutes long.
Oh
I was like,
gosh.
I love these commercials.
That one, because they did the 2-minute warning commercial break. I was like, okay, all right. This might be the last one. Because they usually do on the timeouts, they do we'll be back in 30 seconds.
Right.
And I think the first one they did, and then the second timeout that the Bucks called was like a 5-minute commercial break. It felt like there's
forever.
a minute and 30 seconds left in this game. Can we? And it was right before the third down that
right.
Got the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, I literally, because Haley, my girlfriend, she doesn't watch games with me because I get a little loud, a little rambunctious. But for this game, I'm running into the other room. I'm saying, okay, here's where we're at. We have 1/3 down, and we have to capitalize. Yeah, so
you guys know I had to bribe my girls, my wife, and my 2 daughters to get the heck out of the house by buying them dinner because it was a night game on Sunday, and I'm like going, God, if we have all the guys over, it's going to get really crazy in here.
My heart was literally pounding.
Yeah.
At one point, it just was going crazy.
Yeah.
And man,
you wonder, is this healthy?
Similar to all the other ones, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was gonna say it felt like a Super Bowl to us. You know, like for where we've been the past 2 decades, this was like a Super Bowl. You
Mhm.
know, it was yeah,
Well, you know
hard
what?
to
This is what
express.
I've come up with. As glaring as our run game
Mhm.
has been,
Yeah.
as glaring as sometimes our defensive run game, our defensive,
Whoa.
you
Yeah.
know, against Mike Evans, what we have in our favor is the clutch moment.
Mhm.
Every team doesn't have that.
We have the
Yeah.
experience, more experience than maybe. Well, Mahomes knows how to do it. He's like plans it, but you know, we do
Yeah.
something that we keep doing it, and
Yeah.
like you said,
You're right, Eddie.
if somebody
That
falls, you know, there's always another guy who seems to pick it up. But we
Yeah.
also are really getting lucky with some of the breaks, like
yeah,
have Baker, you know,
fumble
fumble
the
that
ball.
snap
Mhm.
at that one time, and even at the end of the game, you know, like those last 4 minutes, the change of possession back and forth, them stopping us on the goal line, and then we lost the ball, then they lost the ball. It's like I don't know how much a man can take at 64 years old.
Uh-oh. You know, people talk about romanticize, sports are romantic, right? Like
Yeah.
I love that terminology because it's hard to put into words for some people who don't watch sports. And I'm wearing my gear to work and stuff, and some people
that.
get it. Some people get it, are like, "Oh my gosh, man, I'm so happy for you." And then other people who don't get it are like, so your team won. That's great. I'm happy for you. And it's really hard to put into words. It really is. But there's something about football and sport, sports throughout generations, and I there really isn't a word for it. But
how about this, Bradley?
yeah,
Go
tell
ahead.
me, talk to me.
How about this? It's a spiritual experience.
Yeah,
It's really a spiritual experience, and that doesn't even fully satisfy.
yeah,
But it's an experience that you become connected to this
yes,
group of
yeah,
people,
Yeah.
these colors, these
Mhm.
logos,
Uh-huh.
this idea
the
known
city, this
as your
area,
team, the
yeah,
city, the team, the momentum, the
Mhm.
storylines. I
Mhm.
mean, 2 weeks ago we're arguing about upgrades and
Yeah.
Mhm.
who's not going to be there.
Mhm.
And this week, none of that matters. Like
None of it
we're in the
matters. Yeah.
playoffs,
Right.
and De'Ami Brown has the best game of his
I
career.
can't
Jeez,
wait. I
yeah.
can't wait to talk about De'Ami Brown.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Well,
And
it's like this, Tico. You know, for how many years have we said, why are we still rooting for this team? How
oh my
can we keep
God,
doing it? Why do we keep doing it? This is why we keep doing it. Like when you hang
hope.
in there for that long, it makes these moments, like you say, spiritual. Like it's to a
Yeah.
level that it's hard to explain and it's hard to express to your girlfriend or somebody who's not
Yeah.
into sports. You know, it's like
It's also magnified, Donnie,
it
by
is
the
magnified.
fact
Yeah.
that our team
They
was
try to pull me
so
out.
down.
I try to get out, and they
They
pull me
keep
back
pulling
in.
me
back
back.
in.
They keep pulling me
Right, I
back.
keep waiting for Alan Funt to come in and end it. I really hate it. Like,
It would be,
not going to
I would be
happen.
lying if I didn't say that I choked up. I had, like moments, it might have
Oh
not been
yeah.
that moment when we won, because that was pure joy. But afterward, watching Terry's reaction,
Yes.
watching some of these players who have been here forever, watching Dan Quinn, seeing the emotion, watching some of the videos. I don't know if you guys have seen some, but like, of the people who have been there. And I remember, like, you guys have been there, but you've also seen good teams. Like I think about the kid that was choosing Lindadian Tomlinson over the Commanders, because I was like, fuck this. I do not want to root for this team.
Right.
They're not good. But then again, I try to get out and they pull me back. Like I couldn't get away. And then the years of watching a team and watching my friends have good teams, you know what I mean? And root
Yeah.
and then having this like emotional reaction to, like, wow, it happened.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
happened for me. I never thought it would happen for me.
Yeah.
It's bigger than
And
sports,
and we were, there was no single thing that we could hang our hat on and say we should be beating anybody in the playoffs necessarily, except, and I was scared. I was a little bit scared because Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Let's give them a hand because they had a pretty
they
good
played
year.
a good game.
They
yeah.
won their
It was-
division.
It
But
was,
even
and the
still,
game was good on both sides.
The game was even. The game was even,
Yeah.
except we edged out at the end.
What did I say?
Yeah.
We were better. Let me
Eddie was saying it the whole game, whoever has the ball last.
Yeah.
It was 10-10 at the half. It was
10-10.
basically 20-20 at the end of the game until the
Right.
last 3 seconons, you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
So
Look, let's break it down because in a few stats, just a few stats.
yeah.
Let's break it down.
We had more first downs than them, 22-19. We had more passing first downs. We had more rushing first downs. We had more. They both were tied first downs from penalties.
Mhm.
We had more plays than them. We had total yards. We outdid them 350 to 284. We outpassed them 268 to 183. Rushing was almost even, 82 on our side, 101 on their side. Penalties. We usually are been not that great with these untimely penalties. We only had 5 penalties for 39 yards.
What was
They
the
had
time of possession?
7.
That's the one.
Time of possession, 35-26 for Washington, 24-34.
More than 10-minute difference.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
that's
had the ball
that's the
longer.
reason we had better rushing yards and better passing yards. We just had the ball more, you know. We had
and we beat the
wasn't on
turnover,
the
and
field.
we won the
That's-
turnover.
Yeah.
we won the turnover.
Well, I was going to
battle.
say, you know, we didn't play mistake-free football, but we were pretty close. I mean, you know, we did not make a ton of mistakes in this game. We didn't beat ourselves too much. There was a couple, you know, there was some, you know, the first 4th down play call I didn't love. You know, there was a couple, you know, 3rd down plays that we struggled a little bit in the red zone. You know, there were some moments where we had some the run game was definitely a struggle, but the war of attrition, you know, we won. And
there was one touchdown pass to the end zone too that Jayden just missed. He just didn't throw it fast enough.
Yep, you're 100% right.
Yeah, but look, you said no turnovers. The offense had 1 penalty. You know, how many times have we been frustrated by holding penalty after there was no holding penalties. It was an illegal man downfield, and it negated a big play too. But
it did. But that was a tough play. You know, okay, let's start getting into the nitty-gritty because they ran 3 of those RPOs, which a lot of times those are runs. Well, either Jayden
they usually end up being runs, which is why I think Nick Allegretti was like
it was Andrew Wiley, I think.
Oh, Andrew Wiley was like 6 yards down the field on it.
But they ran that 3 times. One of them was unsuccessful, but the 2 other times, Terry got a 5-yard slant that went for like 15 to 20 yards.
Right.
I love that play. I hope they do it more.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. It was well done. It was well executed and it works.
Well, here's what I feel like. I love that you're saying that. They've been running RPO, it feels like, for a while, but the option has been hand it off or run it for Jayden. Either I hand it off or I keep it and run it. And now he's working the 3rd option in there, which is I can throw it to somebody too. And you're right. I love that.
Yeah.
Because it has really well, it was a couple of games ago. I thought he threw a touchdown to somebody on the RPO. What game? It must have been the Philly game or something. He pulled it in. I thought he was going to run, and I was like, he's not going to make it. And then he pulled up and threw it in the end zone. Sweet.
I do want to, you know, Tico highlighted earlier. I said this the other day, and so, you know, my commandment. We rarely go back and look at our commandments, but I was thinking about mine. My commandment was let the big dogs eat. Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the big players on our team, right? Like I said in the intro, Jayden Daniels is the best rookie quarterback we've ever seen. And I mean, you can debate that. You can also debate, you know, like I put him as 5th best quarterback in the league. And you can also debate that, but I mean, you know, who else is there?
Currently playing.
Yeah.
Number 5. Yeah. Number 5 is 5.
He, you know, 5'8", and we'll talk about Jayden more. You know, Terry had a fantastic game. He, you know, he is our best wide receiver. Bobby Wagner had the the big dogs ate, and we'll talk more about them. But, and I didn't say this in my commandment, because I said, I did say this. I said, you're not expecting the lesser, the lesser people to step up. But here's what I didn't say, is it's damn nice when they do. And I want to shout De'Ami Brown out, because like Tico said earlier, he had the game of his career in a playoff game when we needed it most. He looked like a man possessed. He looked like one of the best receivers in the league. He was running people over. He was catching everything that came his way. He was fantastic in this game.
Yards after catch,
and we needed him, because the other receivers were fine. Alameda had a good catch. Zach Ertz had a great 4th down catch, but Crowder didn't do much.
Yeah.
But it was De'Ami and it was Terry, and De'Ami, frankly, I wouldn't say he had a better game than Terry, but he had as good of a game as Terry. And we really needed him in this one. So
Yeah,
I just want to shout him out.
I'll tell you what,
he's playing for a contract, maybe. Let's re-sign that dude.
Well said there, Bradley. I got to tell you, I was impressed with our coaching staff throughout this entire season.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, from a standpoint of play calling, we were worried about whether or not he was going to be able to offensively, coordinate these calls and make the right choices to the right players, to the right play calling. Now, granted, we know that Daniels is making some of those decisions based on who's open or what he's going to do on the option plays. But just the fact that we keep making the right decisions at the right moment is something that only takes, I think, experience to get good at. And yet it's almost like it's instinctive. Like the whole team is buzzing with some confidence that's just giving them this ability to have positive outcomes. Every single turnover, it turned back our way. It turned back.
And they're all on the same page too, Eddie, which I think is, there's no, the fans might be like, oh shoot, take the points. That whole team is put the ball in Jayden Daniels' hands and think that things will happen on 4 downs. Fuck 3 downs. Let's go for 4 downs. You know what I mean? The whole team is behind those decisions.
Well, and I gotta back up what Eddie said. Then you go back to the coaching. I mean, obviously having Jayden Daniels at the quarterback position helps it, right? But they all talk about it, the brotherhood. They all have each other's back. They all believe in each other. They're not pointing the finger at each other. They all want the other person to succeed. I mean, look at JD. Okay, we talked about Jayden Daniels being the best guy on the team. You see how excited he was when Mariota wins the game against Dallas. They just want to support each other. They want to win as a team. And that's the brotherhood. And that really started at the coaching level before they played their first game or even started the first practice. They started building that brotherhood up, and you heard players talking about it in the preseason and before preseason training camp and stuff. So
did you guys see in the Pittsburgh game, after the Pittsburgh game, and they asked Pickett
I didn't
what his feelings were? Did he see things getting better or whatever? And his reaction was no.
I
just see
that.
that culture was not in sync.
Yeah, he wasn't even off the field yet. He was already complaining that he wanted out.
Well,
nobody complained about Alameda dropping that pass that De'Ami threw to him. Because that could have been anybody, right?
Yeah,
it happened to be him.
They're all like, pick ourselves up. Let's get back at it.
And those guys, those second, third, fourth receivers, they don't get the reps. They don't traditionally get the reps that some guys get. And even when Terry wasn't getting it in certain games, you never heard him complain. No, you never saw him pouting. You never saw him pulling a diva or anything. Zach Ertz, okay, it's a crucial 3rd down. He gets it. What if he only gets 2 or 3 catches in a game? Yeah. It doesn't matter to these guys. They don't care who does it because we're all going. If we win the game, we all are going to the next level.
And
so
that's
it really
coaching.
doesn't matter. That's
coaching and that's personality.
And that's the culture too.
And that's
the culture
that
Quinn Quinn has built a culture
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that has been a focal point
Yeah.
all year.
And it's a good point you bring up personality as well, though, because I mean I was the one saying it's the coaching, but and now I go back to Adam Peters. When they're looking for people to bring onto this team, it's not just their talent on the field; it's their leadership skills, it's their commitment to team. You know, like I think all of that plays into it. The character, thank you, yeah, the character of the player.
Yeah.
So that's been critical, and for us who have lived through 2 decades of the Snyder years, it's such a turnaround. You know, you would hear people leave this team, and shoot, what's his name? Coach of the Rams said it when he left.
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay was like, yeah, you know, what a crappy atmosphere it was. You know, nobody wanted to go into to work there. You know, so
I heard something that speaks to this. You know, I think we've all seen the clip of Hard Knocks with the Giants where they interviewed Jayden Daniels, and he, you know, writes some X's and O's, and he goes, "What do you want me to do?" And he goes, "Throw a touchdown." You know, it's a great clip.
I don't think I've seen it.
You didn't see that? Oh my God!
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, you guys need to look it up. It's great because
Okay.
he goes, okay, so Dable goes, okay, what would you do here? And Jayden goes, throw a touchdown. It's pretty funny. But what Jayden spoke about was how did he know that he wanted to be a commander? And he said it was my visit, because they didn't ask me questions like that. They didn't sit down and do X's and O's with me. They got to know me about who I am as a person. And that, you know, you peeking behind the curtain, sometimes you don't get to do in the NFL. And Dan Quinn has always talked about getting to know the man behind the player, not just the talent, right?
Yes.
You know, and to hear that's not just coach speak, that's really happening from, you know, the horse's mouth. Like you know, that's confirmed that he does that. And it just shows, you know, these people care about each other. These people care about each other. And now they're a team, and now they're players on the field that now they're a brand. Now they're a, you know, a product,
cohesive team.
But they're also a people, you know,
They've been
a lot
together,
you know,
for a year.
We see it as a game on the field, as a product. The NFL makes billions of dollars, but they're really just people, you know?
Yeah.
They're people,
well
and people like Marcus Mariota has spoken. All the veterans who they brought in talk about this is resurrecting their career. Marcus Mariota sitting on the bench, right? He doesn't have to be a happy camper right now, right? But he's come in off the bench in 2 occasions and pulled off victories.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's 2-0.
And he got into this game and got picked up a first down. That was sweet.
We got 2 Marcus Mariota.
Got into this
He also
game.
bluffed.
Got into
He also
this
bluffed.
game.
He tried the bluff.
So
With Jayden playing pass receiver.
Right.
So I want to, you know, we've talked around this game. Now let's dive in. So, you know, the defense, you know, it's you know, it's kind of, you know, we talked about how the defense is kind of a question mark every game. This defense felt like it was a question mark every drive, right? Like we had the first drive where Bucky Irving wasn't getting anything, and then on a couple third downs, Baker makes some magic, and Mike Evans, but we stop him in the red zone, and they kick a field goal. And then again, we get a stop. We get, you know, we got a turnover on, or not a turnover on downs. They punt, we get the ball back, and then we score. We go up 10-3, and then this defense, man, at the end of the first half, they marched down the field and scored a touchdown. And you're like, dang, we could not get a stop. And then in the second half, it was like Bucky Irving got hot. He started to run. He got a couple big hits in the run game. The pass game was working. Boom, they score right out of half. We get the ball. We go down. 4th down. We turn over on downs. And then the defense, here we go again. And that was a mistake on the Bucs offense. But Bobby Wagner is there to capitalize. And, you know, you see a lot of times the ball hits the carpet and dudes are falling all over the place. The ball goes slipping out. Bobby Wagner, one arm scoops it.
He
like,
said,
is
that is
the
mine.
Most veteran play you've ever seen? You know, like he was like, no, that ball That's our ball. That's
It
my
looked
ball.
like a mechanical arm.
Yeah, it was like,
Because Baker it looked like he had a better shot at getting that ball, and Bobby Wagner's like, nah.
I saw the ball on the ground. I said, "There's no way we're getting that ball."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Bobby just somehow and like
That's a good point.
how Bobby does. That's how he plays, right? He plays with his head over his physical abilities that he has had better physical abilities in the past when he was younger, but now
You're
he's
beyond
just
peak, is what?
he's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the smartest player on the field,
Mm.
and you saw that in that play. And boom, that's the spark we needed. And then,
Yeah.
and then we had another big stop where we capitalized on a Baker mistake. But before that, a lot of people are like, "Oh man, if they didn't snap the ball, blow it." Johnny Newton had a big, break. Bucky Irving was doing whatever he wanted to us, and Johnny Newton jets in there and gets a tackle for loss to set up that big third down that we stopped them at. So.
Yeah, and you skipped over after that turnover, after the Bobby Wagner turnover, we went 4 downs again. It was 4th down again,
Yes.
and I
was talking just about the defense. I was just talking about
you were talking defense. Okay, all right, gotcha.
But go for it.
But because at that point, I'll be honest, I was like, take the points, just kick the fucking field goal.
No.
You didn't make it last time,
right.
and I got to hand it to Dan Quinn. You made the smart decision. That's why you're the head coach, and I'm not, I guess. But
here's what I've learned about Jayden Daniels is you give him a second opportunity at something and he doesn't miss. In the Eagles game, he throws an interception. They gave the ball back and he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not doing that again," and scores a touchdown. Buccaneers, we got a second chance at the Bucacneers to go beat them again, and he took care of business. You know what I mean? Like you give Jayden 8 downs in the red zone.
Look, we 3 of 5 on 4th down.
Yeah.
3 of 5.
And they kept going for it. And I was a little nervous too, Donnie. I was nervous. But it was like, we're going to be aggressive.
Yeah. That was
we're going to be aggressive.
That was the decision for the
There's
very
no
beginning.
tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. If we lose, we might as well go for it.
Yeah.
And they went for it. And look, it didn't work a couple times.
Well said, Tico.
Didn't work,
Tico too. You know what? That
look for it
reminds
next
me
week
of
too.
just how aggressive we were on defense, back to defense.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked, I think it was Chris Collinsworth who said it during the broadcast. He was watching Luvu take down Baker on a sweep play where he was, trying to get around the corner with his speed. And he's like, Luvu is going to tackle him like he's a fullback. So don't think he's going to go easy on him. He's a fullback right now, and he's not trying to get out quick. You take him down. And that's the aggressiveness that I saw that we played in this game. It was like,
it's so true.
They always say you have to be up more for a playoff game, but even more so in this game, it just seemed like we played with an intensity.
Yeah, we did.
And I hate to say it, we're the most entertaining team in the league.
It's so true.
I mean, who the hell wanted to watch games on Saturday? Did anybody watch those games? I was asleep on the couch.
I had to watch Baltimore. Got to watch Lamar.
Yeah, I loved it,
That's
but I mean, it was a boring game.
No, I agreed.
Yeah.
Even the Rams,
Yeah.
I was bored. I'm sorry.
And I could see a Washington, Baltimore, DMV Super Bowl.
Can you imagine?
So let's talk a little bit about.
We would have to get our revenge. So, so
don't give Jayden.
I'm not looking at Detroit as some big bad wolf. Okay, they had a great season. We're only a couple wins behind them.
Yeah,
we're only a couple of wins behind the top tier teams. We're right behind the top tier teams.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything. The slate is clean. It's starting over from zero. Every time we play a game, it's like match play. It's one time and you're done. Next hole.
And where's Minnesota?
In Cancun.
Okay.
Let's talk.
Okay.
We'll get to that game. I want to talk a little bit about the offense here. Who are some standouts? Obviously, we talked about Diami. We talked. Let's get into the offense a little bit.
Terry was 7 for 89 yards
and a touchdown.
Okay.
And what, you have Diami's numbers right there?
And a tubby. And a tubby. With a 35-yarder.
Oh, yeah.
To start the game.
Wasn't that sweet?
How
did he catch that? How did Terry catch that ball?
But perfect pass too. I mean, the Cowboys game, it was funny because a lot of people, I saw a TikTok that said that a guy was like, man, do you think about starting Marcus Mariota instead of Jayden? Because Marcus looked great in that Cowboys game. And we talked about it that week on our last show of like, yeah, Jayden didn't look great this game, but that is not what we're going to see next week. And it was so perfect because it was so early in the game where he drops that in the freaking bucket. Terry makes a gorgeous catch, and you're like, this game's going to be awesome. I mean, from there on, I was like, this game's going to be awesome. I just knew it.
Yeah.
Even on that drive when we didn't convert on
we didn't
fourth
come
down.
away with points, unfortunately. Yeah.
And look, there was a point in the game when it looked like Mike Evans was going to just take over. Am I right?
Well,
am I right?
He did kind of. He did a little bit.
And then all of a
had his
sudden,
way
second
with
half,
Marshawn, I will
fourth
say.
quarter, where was he?
He was still around. He was still cooking.
So Terry caught 7 and Mike Evans caught 7.
He only caught 7? Dang, it felt like more.
It seemed like a lot because he was burning them. He caught like the first 2 or 3 passes of the game. And they were big, they were big yards. His longest was 23 yards.
Oof.
Wow.
His longest was a 23 yard. It seemed like he was doing more damage than he actually did.
The whole, in my mind, the Bucks seemed like they should have scored more points. Like it seemed like they were doing better on offense. Like, Bradley, were talking about the defense earlier. They scored 20 points.
Yeah.
That's not a dominating
2
performance.
touchdowns.
It's good.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. Yeah. We kept them out of the, so maybe it's just because, I want every play to go the way of the Commanders, but it really felt like they were having their way a lot of the game.
It also,
and they really didn't.
It was a lot of, I think it was a lot of like really, really bad timing because it was a lot of third and like 9. Like we were like, oh wow, we put him in 3rd and 9. It was like 23 yards to Mike Evans. It's like, God damn it, man, you know?
Right.
Well, that's when I thought we were going to lose it in the secondary because that's where most of the commentators were saying, we have some weakness there and we know about our issues back there sometimes. But you know what? We really played great. I mean, on all sides, we might not have played perfect, but every little bit of it was just enough. And the trenches, for the first time, I felt like we controlled it. Maybe not so much in the first half, but the second half, I felt like we controlled that scrimmage. We march down that field when we need to, and we make it look easy. And that's the thing that I think there was to worry about.
No drive. Bradley talked about bad timing. Bad timing for the Bucks is that we got the ball with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in a tie game. And, and I think a lot of people are thinking, oh, Commanders go down and score it, and Bucks get the ball back, and they answer back. Obviously they never saw the ball again. Like that's milking the clock right down to the wire.
Drag down the played perfectly. Passes. It was so beautiful. We've been doing it well. We had a lot of practice in it.
And here's where I'll do my Jayden Daniels bit because it needs to be done. I mean, I feel like we haven't talked about him enough, even though it's been most of our show. This guy, I mean, he has solidified himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the league in his rookie season. And this game, just proves what we already knew, but I think it proves to the league what is that he's the real effing deal. I mean, he was making throw after throw, and it's not just like the box scores tell a story, and it's a good story, but you watch the game and it's on 3rd down, it's on 4th down, it's when we need it most. It's him scrambling to get out of a situation because our O-line did not block a dude. You know what I mean? It's the Buccaneers blitzing more than any other team in the league, putting pressure on a rookie, and him being cool as a cucumber and making the smart decision. I mean, and let's be real, one of those 4th downs, there was a dude hugging Zach Ertz in the end zone. So, and you see a team like the Eagles or the Ravens that have a running back and a line that can just move people, and a 1st and goal on the 1 is a touchdown every time. Right. And for us, it's on 5. It's on 5 to make a play. And that's a tough position. It's a dance, and it's a tough position to have your rookie quarterback but it's a position that our coaching staff is more than comfortable putting on his shoulders because he's proved that he can make a smart play and make the right play. And time again he does in this game. And it seems like it's JD against the Bucks.
Well, who did in the last 5 years, who were we saying was our best player?
Terry.
Terry.
No.
Jonathan Allen?
No. Eddie, you should know this.
I don't know. Help us out.
Say it again,
Tressway.
Tressway.
Say it again.
Oh,
Say it
right.
again.
You say it.
Say it again.
What did he not do this week?
Punt.
How many times did we punt? How many times did we punt?
Zero.
How many times did we turn it over?
Zero. You know, this was
That's never been
Tressway's. I
done.
think I want to say it was 182nd game. First playoff win.
He's been there.
Wins his first
He's
playoff
been
game.
there.
Didn't have to take the field.
How about this?
Except to hold the ball for field
How
goal
about
for the
this?
winning field goal.
And he
is
did a great job.
probably-
He's a great holder too.
He is a good holder.
He's our best holder.
But
All
how
right,
about
Eddie,
this
what-
about Jayden though? This is the worst he's probably
Yeah.
going to be. It's
And
only
we don't know.
better
And,
from
Well,
here.
and everybody
it is-
says that.
It's
Everybody
the worst.
says that. We
it's
have
the-
no idea. We
It's
have
the
no
worst.
idea what.
The team around
Supporting
him
cast.
can only get better. You know, the supporting
we
cast
have
can
no,
only get better.
we don't know that. That's our projection, right? That's our
Yes.
hope. That's
Yes.
our vision.
I-
We don't know what's going. You know, there's been
I'm
teams
calling it.
that
No, I'm
go to
calling
the
it,
Super
Tico.
Yeah, we're
Bowl
calling it.
and never come back.
The
We don't know.
disclaimer-
All we know is right
Yeah.
now.
The only
We did not
disclaimer
punt.
would be
Well,
We
you're
did
right.
not punt.
So
We
you're
used
right,
to
Tico.
punt. Tressway used to
Let-
get so much practice in a
used to
game
do exercises just
Too
of
much.
punting.
Let us relish in the right now, because
Yes,
it's
that's
been a
all
long
we
time
got.
coming,
Forget
and yeah,
next year, 5 years
enjoy
from now.
this.
This might be
moment.
our window for Super Bowl.
Well, let's just remember,
And
we're
we
gonna have
can
a very
do it.
tough schedule
We
next
can do
Okay,
it. Look,
there we go.
we
Let's
all-
talk about
listen,
it. Let's do it.
we almost beat Baltimore, right? Tampa Bay was our worst butt kicking that we got. Okay. And then counter Dallas and counter that first Philly
Not
game.
Dallas, Baltimore was what I think was Baltimore. I thought Pittsburgh was the
We
close
lost
game.
by 8. We lost by 8 to Baltimore.
No,
we lost by
yeah,
1
it was-
point
it was,
to Pittsburgh.
It was the Bucks. We lost.
It
by
was the
15.
Bucks that we lost 17.
That's true.
20,
You're right. That
37.
was the most. That was the biggest. Yeah, yeah.
So
And
we're
we got
past
trash
that now.
points at the end
We're
that game,
past
too.
them.
Yeah.
We're past them, guys.
Yeah.
We came back, got our revenge.
Yeah.
Philly
So-
beat us. We came back and got our revenge. Dallas beat us. We came back and got our revenge.
yeah.
So
Don't let Jayden do it twice.
No team
So,
has ever beaten
none of
Jayden
those teams-
Daniels twice.
those teams, Baltimore and Detroit, are up there with. I mean, Baltimore and Philly are up there with Detroit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We were not
Yeah.
scared of Philly. We took care of business.
Yeah.
Okay. Granted, Jalen wasn't there. Jalen Hurts was not there. But that's not our fault. Okay.
Last I checked,
We've
Well, it
gotta
is,
go
because,
in.
because Frankie Louvu hit him like a truck. But
You know what I'm
and
saying?
he doesn't play defense.
We got to go in. We got to go in there and take care of business.
yeah,
Jared Goff needs to look like the old
perfect.
Jared
Let's,
Goff.
let's
Let's
we're
talk.
putting
Let's
we're
talk.
putting the first playoff win in 20 years behind us, and we're looking forward because hey, like Terry said, we're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
we're not
We
done
got to
yet.
get. We got to
We
get
got
the
a
next
game.
one. We got a
Um,
game.
So let's talk about these Detroit Lions, the number 1 seed in the NFC. What I want to hear from everybody. What do we see when we see the Detroit Lions?
We see a team that can put up points.
Mm-hmm.
We see a team that is well coached.
Yeah.
You know, they took Jared Goff is a star now, and I don't think he's star quality quarterback, but he's performing like it because the coaching is doing a good job, and he does have a great supporting cast around him.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jared Goff has a beautiful arm. Jared Goff has always had a beautiful arm. He's a pocket passer.
Yeah,
He can move
Yeah.
around a little bit,
but he's not.
he's a pocket.
He can get shaken up if he's
Yeah.
under pressure. He can
Yeah.
make
That's right.
mistakes.
Right.
That's right.
He can.
He doesn't get under a lot of pressure,
But
you know,
he's
because
great
they got a good
because
team
they have a
around him, but-
killer O line. So
They
here's
have a
what I
killer
know.
O-line
About,
is
here's
good.
what I know about the Detroit Lions. Right? They got, you can argue Philly, you can argue the Lions, but those are the top 2 right there with the best
Mhm.
O line in football. Penei Sewell is going to be a Hall of Famer. They also got, Taylor Decker and some other guys that you probably won't know, but that have been playing fantastic. They also got fantastic blocking tight ends. Sam Laporta and Brock Wright are really, really great blocking tight ends. And Sam Laporta will hurt us in the pass game. That's just, that's what they do. Let me name some other guys. Amon-Ra St. Brown, ever heard of him?
He's the man. He's the man.
And Jamison Williams, who has been their deep threat, and kind of their gadget guy. Amon-Ra is, I love when people say he's better than Terry because he's not, but he's close. And he's a great player. And then they got freaking Sonic and Knuckles right there in the backfield, and that's where I'm worried about this game. Is they got Jahmyr Gibbs, who has been playing. He is so freaking good. I mean, we struggled with Bijan Robinson last, a couple weeks ago, and I thought that they were kind of one and the same. Jahmyr's better. I mean, he is just flat out better. And he didn't have his counterpart in David Montgomery for the last couple games, and they're getting him back for this game. So they're gonna have their full onslaught in the backfield, and those guys are really good. Really good.
Here's my take on them. That's really good what you said there too, because that made me think about their defensive size. And I don't have the players listed, but I know they're banged up a little bit, and there's a lot of talk that their defense is a little weak. So look, I think this is the game that will probably be the gunslinger game. It'll be the one where the two quarterbacks are going to be battling for, completions. And I feel like if we get down early, we could be in a little bit of a rut. That's the thing. We have to keep this game holding in the red zone to 3 like we did in this last game. Because that's the way we're going to beat teams. We don't have a lot of the strength on the O-line to even get our offense going. But defensively, I feel like those guys are going to have a tough time with us on an aerial. So I think they're going to get us on the run, just like, hey, we can't get it running. And that's when we pass it off to Eckler. I think he was a standout for me. We were talking about standards earlier. I didn't get a chance to say mine, but that's the guy to me really stepped up.
Yeah. Eckler was fantastic.
We're going to need to see a lot of, I like the high risk game that a DQ is playing. He's really like challenging everybody. It was great to watch the previous defense in such terror and limbo. They looked like they were out of sorts constantly for Tampa Bay. And I think that's what we got to do. We got to scare the crap out of them, and we got to take our chances and go on 4th down every single time. Unless it's obviously a bad.
Well, so let's talk about that defense a little bit. They got a D-line who, to me is not the Buccaneers, the strength of their defense is the D-line, right? Like we saw it. Via Clancy, he was balling, although he couldn't get him on that 3rd down. And then Yaya Diaby, all 3 of those guys were fantastic. That's not the strength of this defense. They got Zadarius Smith, who they picked up from the Bengals, and isn't even the best Bengals D lineman. They lost their star in Aiden Hutchinson for the season. So we actually might be able to establish a bit of a run game.
Do a run game, yeah.
But I think what I'm most excited about is we might be able to get our quarterback run game back, which we didn't really have in this game.
That's true. Oh, they were focused on Daniels. They had his number. Yeah.
Their strengths are their safeties. Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph are Brian Branch is one of the hardest hitting safeties in the league. I mean, you see Jeremy Chin rocking dudes, and this guy hits harder than Jeremy Chin. And then Kirby Joseph has a wild number of interceptions this year. Let me see if I can find his stat line here.
Jeez.
He has 83 tackles, 12 passes defended, and 1 touchdown, 9 interceptions.
Wow. Oh, that's the guy. That's the guy.
Kirby Joseph.
Yeah.
Kirby
He's
Joseph.
leading the league in interceptions, right?
Yes, he's leading the league in interceptions. So
Mhm.
that's where their safeties are fantastic. Their corners can get got. They got Terrion Arnold, who is good, and Amik Robertson, who's, they're good. They're not great, right? I mean, they're kind of like the Bucks. The Bucks have some good players on defense in the backfield, but that's not where their strength is. So here's my so that's what we're looking at on defense here.
Okay. Did you want to launch into your commandment? We can go.
Well,
right
I don't. I'm gonna kind of go with a little bit of a prediction here, and I think
okay.
what Eddie said was astute. If we get behind in this game, I don't see us stopping a ton of people, right? Like I don't see us stopping the Detroit Lions very much on defense. We might get one here and there.
Let me give you some perspective. Let me give you some perspective.
Wait, hold on.
He's making a point about my point. I got to hear this.
Before you on piggybacking on that, I don't see us stopping many people, right?
Yeah.
And I have to make a correction. I said we lost to Baltimore by 8. We lost to Philly by 8. We lost to Baltimore by 7. Okay. The biggest loss that we had was Tampa Bay, 17 point. We didn't do that again.
No.
Even in our
get blown out of
losses,
games.
First game
in our losses to Baltimore, we lost by 7. In our loss to Pittsburgh by 1, Philly by 8, Dallas by 8. So we lost 2 games by 8 points, and then that blowout. We don't really lose we haven't lost by a large margin.
By more than one score.
Our game, we're right there.
For...
Either we've blown teams out or we're right there and we're the cardiac kids.
Yeah.
That's been our story the whole year. And I don't think it may not be any different this week. I predict we win by 8 or 7. I think it's going to go down to that. And maybe we overplay, we outdo ourselves and win by 14.
Why though, Tico? Because that's
our MO. That's this team's MO. Every team seems to establish some type of identity.
Mm-hmm.
Our identity is close games that we pull out at the end.
Right. So here's where I was going.
We used to blow the teams out that we should blow out. Tennessee, the Carolina Panthers,
we're playing the number
Cleveland, Arizona. We've blown those teams out.
So here's where I'm at. And this is where I was going. I don't, this defense is, we know what this defense is. It's not elite. It's good, right? It's number 13 in the league.
It's clutch. Right in the middle. It's clutch.
I would say the defense is not clutch. I would say it's actually the opposite of clutch, because in the clutch moments, they don't usually come through.
Well, look at Bobby Wagner. What happened with Bobby Wagner? We needed that turnover. We needed that turnover, and we got it. Baker Mayfield helped us out a little bit. That's what I mean by clutch. Okay.
I'm not going to agree with you on that one, because I don't think that they've had clutch moments, but when we need to have it, hey, let's win the game right here. They don't do it.
I don't want it in the defense's hand.
I don't want it in the defense.
I want it in JD5's hands. I don't want it going back. Like I said, 4 minutes and 40 seconds was great, because you don't want it going back to Tampa Bay at the end of that game, right?
See, I don't think our offense is great either. I don't think our offense or defense or special teams are great. I don't think the one great quality we have is that clutch gene.
I was going to say,
the brotherhood.
But the offense, you can't deny clutch. I don't know that I can give clutch.
But if the defense doesn't put us in a position, the offense doesn't even get a chance to be clutch.
That's not right.
It's a team clutch. It's a team cluch.
Okay. Here's my point.
We don't have a great.
This is my prediction. It doesn't matter about the defense on either team. Like, you take the defense out of this game, and I don't think it matters. Here's what matters, and it's what Eddie said. Whoever has the ball last, and I think that. And here's the part where the defense comes in, and the coaching is. I think that we have the ball last in a lot of these games. I mean, look at every game we've won this season. It's not, we haven't won many games on defense. The Saints game's the only game that comes to mind We win because we end the game. Because we
Right.
put the last points on the board.
Right,
We
it's a
don't get the
walk-off
ball back.
for, yeah, all of these.
Because this offense, I'm going to push back on you, Tigo, is phenomenal. It's great. It's a great offense. And what I'll agree with you is it is the clutchest in the NFL. So here's how we win this game, man. It's not, oh, our defense really needs to step it up in these parts. It's we need to have the ball last because Jayden Daniels will win this game if that's the case. And I'll put my money on that. If the ball's in Jayden Daniels' hands and we have a chance to either win, if we have a chance to win the game on offense with Jayden Daniels, he will do it against this defense. And that's my prediction. Is if we have the ball last, we'll win this game.
Yeah,
and I think that there's a part of that that's coaching, man. There's a part of that is putting your players in the right situation. There's a bit of luck and there's a bit of clutchness with the defense, right? Getting that turnover, getting that needed stop right there. You know, because if they don't
the field goal,
if they don't force the field goal, we could tie the game. I still think we win because Jayden Daniels is clutch. He goes to overtime, he wins this game. We flip the coin, we get the ball, we win. You know, that's where we're at. But we did need that defense to be clutch in that moment so that Jayden Daniels could have the ball last.
Right.
So I think maybe that might just be a commandment. To win this game, we need to have the ball last. Is that a cop out?
Is it thou shalt have the ball last?
No, but I mean, hey, whatever works. If hey,
look,
I'll take those.
This game.
It doesn't have to be pretty.
It has to be
that, and it doesn't have to be a blowout. It's just 1 point. All we need is 1 point.
And
I'd be so thrilled with 1 point win.
Here's the thing: I think a lot of people have a misconception of how this game is going to go. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it's going to be a high scoring game." I think it's going to look a lot like last week. We're going to have sustained drives where we move the ball. They're going to run it a lot against this defense. The game is not going to go on forever. It's not going to be Joe Burrows versus Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be a sustained game where there might be 3 touchdowns scored and a kickoff and a field goal to win the game. Like I could see a 24-21 game. That's my prediction.
I see it somewhere. I see it completely different.
Okay, let's hear it.
The outcome is still the same. I mean, I know I think of it as an offensive gunslinging event.
Yeah.
And that we're going to get to see both of these guys go quarterback against quarterback. And the one thing that we kept talking about with us was, we've got this culture, we've got this incredible new living, breathing entity that's so positive. Well, that's what happened in Detroit.
Yeah.
They have the culture too. So let's all hope that, somehow they end up with the results that we want. We've been doing it all year long. Every time I said that's not going to happen, they come back to surprise me. And I say they because I don't want the weight to be all on Jayden's shoulders. So I say my commandment is thou shalt take the burden off of Jayden Daniels with turnovers and a control of the line of scrimmage. That's it.
I love that. Hey, I want that to happen. I saw something. This is going to be the most Madden game ever because in Madden you go for on every 4th down and you don't kick field goals.
Right.
And Dan Quinn and Dan Campbell they don't like to kick field goals.
Jayden doesn't want to. He looks over the side. He's like, come on.
Yeah, give me the call.
Where's the play?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of their coaching staff, we have a little score to settle with Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator. If you remember, he was going to be interviewed for the head coaching job. And I guess when Adam Peters was on the plane heading to Detroit to talk to this guy, he called him and said, "I'm not interested. I'm staying in Detroit." Boo. That sucks. Anyway,
maybe it was
does it suck or did we do okay?
But we win in the end. I mean, and actually, when you think about it, when he makes that decision, did he ever think he was going to face whoever the new head coach in the playoffs, in the divisional round of the playoffs? I'm sure he did not.
We're going to beat these guys.
So I'm moving on to my commandment then.
I hope, man.
And I got a double shot commandment here. But they kind of go hand in hand. Because we got to do exactly what we did in this Tampa Bay game. We got to win the time of possession. That keeps their powerful offense off the field. If we can do those long sustained drives, we keep them off the field. That's the key to staying in this game till the end, so that we can have the ball last. And then there's the X factor, and the X factor is turnovers. Thou shalt win the time of possession and the turnover ratio, because you're right. The defense can't always stand up to a strong offense, but X factor, something goes wrong, and we jump on that, or we've had balls in our hands, interceptions that we drop. We can't do that. We got the balls on the ground. We got to jump on it. The balls in their hands. We got to catch it. Win the time of possession, win the turnover ratio. We win this game.
Well said. All right, Tico, what do you got for us? Bring us home.
Go for it. Go for it.
No, I did mine.
What was yours again?
Mine was have the ball last.
Thou shalt win this game. Period.
He took a page out of your book, Bradley.
I think he had that one first. I think he had that
okay, you took it out of. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
that page gets passed back and forth.
This is gonna be a fun game, you guys.
It's gonna be a fun game.
Whatever happens this weekend, right? Like, look, this. We've talked a lot in this, and we've talked a lot about. This is the Commanders podcast. We're gonna talk about how we can win this game. The reality is this is a fantastic football team in the Detroit Lions. This is the number 1 seed for a reason. They're good. They've played a good schedule. They had a team in their division with 14 wins. Clearly their competition has been great. But we're here for a reason too. And you talk about the upper echelon of teams, right? Baltimore, Chiefs, Eagles,
Buffalo.
Titans, Buffalo. And then there's that other team, and they're the most dangerous team. That we're the Rams and the Commanders, because we're the upsets.
Right.
We're the good upset because we get to choose, right? They're supposed to win. We get to choose, right? And that's an exciting place to be.
Yeah. Don't tell these players they're supposed to win, because they don't believe it, right?
Yeah. And that's an exciting place to be, because look, win or lose, this has been an incredible season. But we can win this game. And we talked a lot about tonight how we can do that. So
well, and that's going to help us win. Look, we're playing with house money. Go for it on 4th down. Take the risks. What do you got to lose? We've already gone further than anybody expected. Take the risks and win this game.
Yeah. And the Lions went on an 11-game winning streak, right? They lost their first game to the Buccaneers. 2016.
That's the first game.
That's
thing.
great.
They were one. They started the season 1-1, right?
Wow.
How bad was that?
So did we.
Did they just beat them?
But then they went on an 11
in the second game
streak.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they lost in the second game. We lost so the Buccaneers were 2-0.
Wow.
And everybody's like, look at the Buccaneers.
First game.
Okay.
The first game of any season is like it's like another preseason.
That's crazy.
Yeah, except it counts.
And
the only
and-
other
That's
loss,
right.
Yeah.
the only other loss was a 48-42 shootout with the Bills.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I got to give it to Detroit. Detroit has put up some points, man. They
Yeah.
got a 42 game against the Seahawks. They got a 31. They got a 52 against the Titans. Everybody's beating the Titans, including us. We put the wood to the Titans, right? They got 52 against the Jaguars. They should have. They got 42 against the Bills and still lost. They got 40-34 against the 49ers. Okay.
Good thing
We've put up those kind of points too. Okay.
Yeah, not as often.
So
and not against
we
the same
lost
type of
we
team.
lost a couple games that we probably could have won. Pittsburgh.
Philly.
If we don't get that last offsides and we get the ball
Cowboys.
back,
Yeah,
we might have
Cowboys,
driven
yeah.
down the field and kicked a field goal or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And the first
Right?
game could have won too.
That first game against the Cowboys. So our record is not totally who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We may be undercover one of those elite teams
Mhm.
that finds a way to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You got
not
that
easy getting
clutch.
12 wins.
Yeah.
Okay, they got 3 more wins than us. But we could have easily been 14-3.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep,
Just saying.
yep,
I'm not
yep.
It's a
scared
good
of
point.
Detroit. I am not
All right.
scared
Yeah.
of Detroit.
So go ahead and make our first prediction, Tico. Sounds like I know what you're gonna pick.
Really? Really? Is this what we're doing?
Hey,
Is this what we're doing?
we gotta keep it. We gotta keep it. We gotta keep it. What is it? We
Is
gotta
this
keep
what we're really doing, Bradley?
Keep it
Keep it
real.
Are we
real.
really asking me? I told you guys from the beginning.
Yeah.
Tico has never picked a loss, by the way. That's
And
how
he's
he
been-
that's how he
he's been
won.
right
I've been wrong
the
5
season.
times.
He's been
I've been
right
wrong
13
5
times.
13
Yeah.
times. That's
He's-
right.
yeah,
You've
he's
been-
the guy
which is
who-
more than any of us.
We are 6 on a 6-game win streak right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, we're the
Longer than
hottest.
anybody else in the
6-game
league.
win streak.
Nobody else is on a 6-game win streak right now.
So
That's right.
I want to, you know, I don't know what I want to pick this game, you know, because I know what I want to pick, right? And I know I don't even know what I should pick. I really don't know. I feel like I've talked myself into that we're winning this game. And like watching the Lions this season, they're so good, but so are we, man. We're so good.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, I got to pick with what I want to pick, man. And we're going to win this game, dude. We're going to find a way to win. We're going to find a way to win. We're going to get a clutch turnover. We're like Tico said, we might give up a bunch of points, but we're going to get something that makes us have that ball with 3.5 minutes to go, ready to march down the field, down 4, you know, needing a touchdown. We need a touchdown. We don't just need we need a touchdown to win it. And we're going to walk that shit off with a touchdown. I don't know. I feel it, man. We're going to upset these dudes. And everybody's saying, oh yeah, they beat the Bucks. That could have, you know, maybe I didn't call it, but yeah, I see it happening. I don't see the Commanders beating the Lions. I think people are wrong. I think we can do it.
We've surprised ourselves for the entire season. And I think the thing is this, it's Jayden Daniels. He wants it more. I mean, you see it in his eyes when he's playing. He's just so focused, except for that one game against Dallas. I don't, he was like in another planet, maybe the medications, who knows? But he's such a strong character that in his mind, I guarantee you, he believes that he's going to do this. And every week he seems to pull it off. I know it's a team thing, but he's the leader of the ship, man. He's Moses. This guy's moving mountains with his game. And everybody loves it. We're the most entertaining team in the league. Yeah. We got Sunday night primetime positions. I mean,
we got another primetime this week.
I gotta say, Washington's going to win this game, and it's just going to be wonderful because then we'll have a reason to do this podcast next year.
Yeah,
he's not afraid of the spotlight, and this weekend will be the biggest spotlight he's ever been.
It's the biggest show, and he wants
to
show.
I feel similar to you, Brad, because I think coming into tonight, I was like, but you know, if I'm being realistic, I don't think we're going to win this. But look, I picked this background behind me, and I've been staring at this gigantic W all night long, and I think that means something. I'm going to pick with my heart and say we're winning this game.
Yeah, four wins here. Look,
Washington
gentlemen, it's been a hell of a ride, and we've done one more podcast than we did last year, and that's saying something. And we're gonna be here next week no matter what. But I look forward to having one more week, if not 2, if not 3. Holy shit! If we're here after a Super Bowl, that would be insane. Imagine a Philly Commanders division
championship.
Woo!
Conference championship, you mean?
Championship.
Yeah, conference championship.
That's the only way we're going to play them is a conference championship.
That's what I meant.
And Philly's not guaranteed to win that.
Could be the Rams.
By the way, if it's the Rams, they're going to be playing back here in LA.
Yeah, because they won their division.
And
right?
here's a kind of a fun thing. I said
and
this
we're going. If it's the Rams, we're going. Yeah. We're going to find tickets.
Haley was like, what she said to me? She was like, so wait, so if they lose, they go home? I was like, yeah. And she goes, what happens if they win? I go, oh my God, if they win 2 more games, they're going to the Super Bowl. 2 more games.
Wow.
Woo!
We're 2 games away from the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Let's okay.
kick.
Let's
And this
take a deep
look,
breath.
hey,
Let's
look,
not get excited.
I gotta tell you,
We
if
can get
beat
excited.
Detroit,
It's okay.
Okay, so I want to close with this. You know, we've had a lot of fun on this podcast, but I want to close the way we started. And I want to shout some
but
people out.
I got something to say before we close.
Okay, do it.
Jayden Daniels, when he was asked immediately after the game, they asking him all these same questions over and over. How does it feel to win? What does this mean to you? Blah blah. And all he says is, it's God.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a man.
And when you put it on God like that, there's nothing else to say.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. That's
and maybe that's why nothing rattles him.
Because he's not tripping.
Let go, let God.
Let go, let God. If it's meant for me to win, I'm just gonna play my best game either way.
Yeah.
And I put it in God's hands. I trust in God. And that's when Jayden said that, it boosted my faith. Not only in him, but in my spiritual faith, knowing that when I let go and let the universe handle everything, I'm not tripping on these fires. My friend lost his house. Shout out to Mark V. Jones. And it's going to work out. I told him, he said, I lost everything, man. I said, no, you didn't. You still got you. You still got your life. And that's the most precious thing we have. Not the memorabilia, not the furniture, not the, the computers.
The stuff. It's all stuff. It's just stuff. Yeah, right.
And that's what Jayden ignited in myself when he said that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
With that being said, I think we want to shout out some other people that have had devastation in these fires. I know for us, the Schmidt family has been very close friends of ours for many years, and they also lost their house and all their belongings. But everybody's safe. And like Tico said, that's what matters. And we have some other very close friends and family who are in evacuation orders, and we just our thoughts and prayers go out to every community, every person that's been affected, and everybody who's fearing for their homes and for their lives. And I know these other gentlemen want to shout out some people as well.
Yeah,
Eddie, you had some people I know affected.
Yeah, I know a good group of friends, close friends, some that I golf with. Will Lafayette, he lost his home in the Palisades. My dearest friend Robert and Joan Reef. Robert was one of my favorite people in the world. He's just lost everything, including some very valuable parts of his creative career as a photographer. So it's a really one. And I go out. My thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family, and hope they get through this. It's devastating, and I feel for everyone. I've also had a couple of close calls right here in Agora where we are. So we evacuated 7 years ago in the other one, and that one wasn't fun. So this is the world kind of like getting a little angry. It's like, let's keep this happy home of ours healthy, and maybe the stuff will stop. Yeah. But maybe not. Maybe it's just part of what happens in the universe. Yeah. But I just want everybody to know that I care, and if you need anything, reach out to me. Yeah. Get in touch with me. So peace, everyone.
Yeah.
I also want to just empower people to donate what you can. Money, food, clothes,
belongings.
If you have extra, don't please,
there are people that don't have anything. So if you got it, share it.
Yeah, most of us have a lot more extra. So we'll talk about trying to purge in your life, get rid of some of the stuff that you have that might help somebody else out.
Old clothes, shoes.
Yeah. Got a garage full or an attic full of stuff, bring it out and start thinking about who might want this right now. Like a kid who doesn't even realize that his family lost their house, the place they lived in. Like they're uprooted. They don't know what's going on. So the youngest kids could use a toy or more importantly, they need a hug, so.
Donnie, you want to say something?
Look, the same family that Bradley shout out at the Nikki Schmid and her boys Sebastian and Benjamin. Bradley and Benjamin were best friends growing up, so he spent a lot of time in that home that isn't there anymore. And then and most of the rest of our friends, we have a lot of friends in Topanga Canyon, and as of now, I know everybody is still okay, other than the Schmid family, but they're not out of harm's way yet. So we're still praying for them and trying to offer as much support as we can.
And football gives us a little chance to take a pause from some of the harsh realities of the world. Bradley, I want to say, man, I'm so proud of you, the man that you've become. You've been so articulate on this show, and this show would not go without your expertise, your knowledge of the other teams, your knowledge of football. And so I'm shouting you out to let you know how proud I am of you and the man that you've become.
Thanks, T. I really appreciate
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
I mean, these gentlemen have been in my
heartbeat
life
of the show
for a long time. They've been huge role models of the man I am. So I wouldn't be who I am without you guys. Dad, of course, you and Tico as well, and Eddie.
So take us home, Bradley.
Right.
Take us home.
I'll take us home. That's it.
Here.
That's gonna be a wrap. A nice heartwarming wrap for this episode of Command West. We hope everybody stays safe and in this hard time. Please, tune in next week. We'll be here. We'll be here celebrating the season that was.
Celebrate.
We're here celebrating.
We're gonna celebrate.
You can celebrate either way.
And check us out next week. Like, subscribe, comment down below. You're our 5th commandment, and donate to the people of LA. Love for LA.
Thank you to the fire department.
Peace.
Peace.
Stay safe.